Hi, and welcome to Woman at the Wheel, my YouTube channel. I'm Sue. Come right along with me. I'll talk your ear off. I got room over here in my passenger seat. I'm on my way to Pennsylvania hauling a set of doubles, and I just got into Ohio. Thank God, because the roads in Indiana were terrible. I was glad to get out of there. So I've tried to make several different videos today, and every time I get going I end up in a construction zone and stop and go traffic, so it's really slowed me down. So I'm kind of running behind schedule a little bit. Well, not necessarily way behind schedule, but about half an hour I guess I lost sitting in construction zones today. So instead of driving 3 hours tomorrow morning to deliver these, I'm probably going to end up driving 3.5 to 4 hours to deliver them. I've got an hour and 46 minutes left on my drive clock, so I need to find a place to stay in about an hour. And I think it's going to put me roughly on the western edge of Columbus somewhere. So I'll probably stop up here at the next rest area. I just passed one, but I didn't want to stop this early to look. But I'll probably stop and see what I can find up the road when I get down to having about an hour of travel time left. So anyway, it's evening now. It's 6:19 Central Time, so that means it's 7:19 Eastern Time, which is, I guess that's what I'm on now, is Eastern Time. But I operate on Central Time no matter where I go. That's what my logbook is on, and it stays on Central Time, so it doesn't mess with my hours. And I'm actually making decent time. I haven't been traveling very fast. Today I've been doing, when I wasn't in construction zones, I've been running between 60 and 65. A lot of these asphalt roads are smooth enough that it doesn't cause these trailers to wiggle wobble around so much. And I tried to do a video just going through Indianapolis. Well, they've got the downtown area shut down, so I ran the camera all the way through there. I ended up just trashing the video because all you could see was the bypass. So they've got I-70 shut down, so you don't see any of Indianapolis at all. You can't see any of the town, which that's the interesting part, not the interstate. So I trashed that. I might do Pittsburgh tomorrow, maybe. I don't know if I'll get close enough to it to actually see it. Seems to me like the interstate goes around it pretty far. But I'll do whatever good sized towns I get to. I'll do an independent video for each one of them. So I'm basically just cruising right now, just trying to make the most of my last hour and some of driving. Get as many miles done as I can get tonight. It's less I have to drive tomorrow morning. So it's going to be relatively early when I stop, my time. It'll be 7:30-ish. So 8:30 Eastern Time. So I can get up and go pretty early if I want to. As early as 5:30 my time. If I stop at 8:30 it'd be 6:30 my time. So I can get an early start and get on in there the rest of the way with these trailers and drop them, and then get on over to Eastern Pennsylvania to go pick up that stack. Hopefully relatively early tomorrow afternoon. Remains to be seen. I mean, sometimes things happen. It might be one of those deals where, I don't know, I get hung up and stuff and have to wait and pick it up Thursday morning, but I don't think so. I think I'll be able to get in there tomorrow afternoon and get it. Once I do that, the first thing I'm going to do is get the hell out of Pennsylvania. I'll get into Virginia as quick as I can and drop down through the Shenandoah Valley. That's the best route to get to Seguin. And I did find out today that where I'm delivering the trailer to in Seguin, Texas is open Saturday until 5, which is awesome news. That gives me 3 full days and part of another day to get that stack of trailers down there and get it delivered. So that gives me ample time, it should be, to where I can get done sometime, before 5 o'clock Saturday, and then I turn around and head home for a few days. And what I'm going to do, once I get home on Sunday I'm going to take Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday off at a minimum. I may take Wednesday too. Probably take a good 4 days off. Just get rested up, because I didn't really rest up this last weekend. I was working on stuff. And get this truck in to get some new tires on the back end of it. We put new tires on the front, but the tires on the front wore out really quick, because they didn't make very good steer tires. Every time you turned it wore them down. But the same kind of tires on the back lasted quite a while. I've got probably close to 80,000 miles on them, or will have by the time I get home. And they're not expensive, great tires to start with. So we're going to replace those this week, so I don't have any problems. They're not looking bad yet, but they're getting to the point where they're going to go bad now pretty quick. So we'll go ahead and get those changed out. Kind of do a preemptive strike on that. It's going to be expensive because it's 4 tires back there instead of 2. The 2 on the front cost me $1,000, and putting 4 on the back is going to be double that, so it's going to hurt. All right, diesel price here in Ohio, $4.65. That's what I was afraid of. It's getting higher the farther east I go. Unless I just luck out and find something, I'll have to start using my reserve fuel. Before probably fill this up in the morning out of my reserve tank, which I guess that's okay. I mean, I'm almost to Pennsylvania. I'm just got to cross Ohio, which isn't a very wide state. I'm 322 miles from where I actually deliver these trailers. So when I wake up in the morning, I'll be probably 250 miles away. Something like that. And I've got over half a tank now. Let's see, I've got 286 miles of range, so I won't be short much fuel delivering. So if I can find it somewhere at a decent price, I will pull in and just top this tank off and conserve my cheaper fuel. But if I can't find it anywhere cheaper than that, I'm not paying that for it if I don't have to. So I'm trying to maximize profit on this trip. That's the whole point. To maximize the profit, minimize the outlay. I know I talk a lot about that. Well, that's the whole point of being in this business. So if I'm not making money out here, there's no point in me out here spending the days of my life 1,000 miles from home, just running circles, dragging stuff around. The whole point of it is to bank enough money so that when I get too old to do this, we don't have to worry about, having to live on beans with no ham for the rest of our lives. Because you know how it is these days, nobody had a pension like, our parents had a pension. But you don't get that anymore. You get a little bit of Social Security and that's it. And God only knows how long they'll keep doing that. I mean, I guess they probably will. Hope. If they don't, I'm never going to be able to quit until I die, I guess. But either way, the whole point is to make money doing it. So once it becomes unprofitable, then it's time to sell all the equipment and stay home. But so far it's doing pretty good right now, so I'm not sure how long it's going to do very well if the diesel price keeps going up and up. It depends on how bad people want to have things moved, whether they're willing to pay the higher rates. So far they have been. But even that, there's a limit, I think, to what people are willing to pay. This guy's blowing smoke. Look at that. He's burning oil bad. That's disgusting. He's leaving a black cloud behind him. Not sure I want to be breathing that in. I don't believe that's a diesel vehicle either. I think that's a gas vehicle. I think he's about ready to blow that baby up. That's really extreme. I'm not smelling diesel anyway. Usually if somebody's blowing out that much black diesel smoke, you can smell the diesel in it. I'm not smelling any diesel. I wish I'd had my camera then. A few months ago, I was crossing over by Lubbock, Texas. I was actually going, I think I was out on the east side of Lubbock, or on the west side of Lubbock, heading over into New Mexico, and some guy in a pickup truck smoking like that kept, I don't know if he was trying to get me to race him or what. I mean, it was stupid. I was hauling a trailer. So I'm going along minding my own business. He gets over on the side of me and starts revving and you know, trying to, like, I don't know what he was doing. He was just being stupid or whatever. But he'd get up in front of me and cut over in front of me and then slow down. So when he'd slow down, I'd pass him and go around and come back over, and then he'd come up and do it again. He kept passing me and getting in front of me and getting in front of me. So I finally got sick of it. It was starting to piss me off, to be perfectly honest. So I mean, it was a small enough trailer I was pulling. I wasn't even really running all that fast, but I just jammed it and went on by him. So he decided that he had to catch up to me and pass me again, I guess to prove he was a man or something. I don't know what his deal was. But he comes up and just hammering that poor truck that was blowing black smoke like that, trying to pass me, and I was going pretty fast. These things, when you get them moving, they will move. I was just trying to get away from him. I was tired of him screwing with me, so I was going pretty fast. And he's trying to pass me one last time, and I say one last time because as he's trying to pass me, his motor blew. I was like, you dumbass. So he fell back behind me and pulled over to the side of the road, and there was just black smoke billowing out of his engine compartment. I was like, dumb ass. Oh. But, you know, that was a self-inflicted thing. I don't know what his deal was. I don't know why he thought he had to be in front of me no matter what. Or why he wanted to slow down in front of me to screw with me either. You know, because that's, I don't know if he was trying to slow me. I don't know what he was doing. I just wanted to get away from him so he wouldn't screw with me. But that was the end result of that. I laughed for miles after that. Every time I thought about it, I thought it was funny. I was talking about self-inflicted stupidity, you know. I don't know, that was strange. That was really strange. Every once in a while you run across a lunatic out here on the highway, and they do really stupid things. And it usually, you know, it's usually memorable anyway. That was one of them that I witnessed, so. But it was like instant karma is what it was like. That's what I was thinking when it blew up on him. Because I don't know why he chose me to screw with, but he did. And, you know. Oh well. Bet he won't do that again for a while. Be messing with somebody on the highway like that. It's foolishness. Just foolishness. That's what it was. Foolish. Okay. Hour and 33 minutes left on my day to drive. "49 miles coming up. I got a rest stop. That's probably where I'll stop and see if I can zero in on a decent motel so I can actually stop and look at my phone. Don't want to do that while I'm driving. pretty nice farmland through here. It's relatively flat. I'm getting 10.5 miles, 10.6 miles to the gallon right now. Or well, that's what I've averaged. I'm going to reset that and see what I'm running right now. Over the last few hours, that's what I've been getting. I know the fuel's going down slowly on the gauge for a change. Usually when I'm hauling trailers, the gauge just runs right on down. And I've used almost half a tank from when I stopped and filled up back in Illinois. So it's doing really well. Yeah, I'm doing about 10.5, somewhere thereabouts. So this is pretty awesome. So I've been fighting with my GPS all day. I've got a Garmin diesel GPS. I bought it back in November, I think. And it's not their most fancy model, but it was fancy enough. It cost me a couple $100. And I've decided today I officially hate that thing. It does the stupidest stuff, and it doesn't do the things that a GPS should do that would actually be helpful. And I don't know why they have it doing the stuff it's doing, but what it was trying to do is, for several hours, it was trying to route me off of I-70, which is the most direct route to where I need to go. And it was trying to route me either north or south, depending on where I was at. Out of the way 100 miles, it was trying to put me on Interstate 64 going south, more the southerly route, or Interstate 57 doing a northerly route. It didn't want me on I-70. For some reason, it did not want me on I-70. I don't know what the deal is with it. It was just ridiculous. And so that kind of was like the straw that broke the camel's back. The other thing about this thing that I really despise, that I've hated since I got it, I had a Garmin before that was a really good, solid GPS, and I really liked it once I got used to it. It was just like this. It was very cumbersome putting in an address, and some of the addresses I put in just wouldn't come up. But overall, it was pretty solid. And one of the things that it would do is when I would look for a motel for the night, it would give me the motels ahead of me on the road. It didn't worry about anything behind me, because why would you? I mean, you're not going to turn around and go back to find a motel if you're already, if you're cruising down the road and you want something ahead of you. Well, this GPS gives me motels that are closest and then ranges out from there. So if I go through an area like right now, I've got an hour and 29 minutes of drive time left. I would like to be able to turn that on and find a motel on the GPS that has a decent rating. It does show the ratings on them. That would be on my route, something I could aim for. Well, I can't do that because it clogs up the system, showing every motel close to me, starting the nearest one, working out in any direction. Doesn't matter what direction, it's all directions. So by the time it gets around to a motel that would do me some good, 30 minutes down the road, I can't even get to that information because it's already buried it under all the irrelevant information, instead of just giving me what's ahead of me on my route. So I really despise that feature on this GPS. So this one's going to eBay. I will let somebody who actually likes and enjoys this version, I'll let them have a good deal on it, and I'll buy something else that doesn't annoy me so much. I mean, it does have a couple of features that I like that are trucking specific, but it's not enough for me to get past the fact that it won't put me on a decently logical straight route. It wants to loop me for whatever reason, and it won't give me the information I need when I need it. So, I mean, if those two things are like deal breakers, why should I even bother with it if it's that unuseful to me? So I decided today this is my last trip with this GPS. So I'm gonna, when I stop tonight, I'm gonna do some GPS hunting on the internet and see if I can find something that'll suit me better. But I know what features I need now. It had been so long since I had a GPS. When I got this one, I wasn't even thinking about features. I was just thinking about something to get me going, with the trucking. So I thought, well, I probably need this truck stuff so I don't get off a route that, is not truck suitable. But then I got to thinking about it. If it's not a truck route, there's a big sign that says no trucks. I mean, how hard is that? So it's just not worth it to me. So I'm going to get rid of it. I've come to several conclusions today. That's one of them. I'm going to start taking off a minimum of 1 3-day weekend a month all summer long so I don't just totally burn out. That's another one. All right, hour and 15 minutes left to go, maximum. So another hour will put me right over on the western edge of Columbus. So I need to try and find a motel there that I can get into with these. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. I guess I'm close to Dayton. I know I'm in some kind of a metro area. I guess it's Dayton. I think it's due south of me, the main part of town. Kind of hard to tell. I mean, aside from the 3 lanes, that's the dead giveaway because there's not much scenery indicating that it's a city over here. I'm under 300 miles from my delivery. That's good. Actually, 289 is what one of my GPSs is saying. The other one's saying 296. One's just going to the town. The other one's going to the actual location. So it's saying 4 hours and 30 minutes. That's going to be closer to 5 hours for me from where I stopped tonight because of my speed, I think. My speed limitations with these tie-together trailers. Here's my big cousin, FedEx here. FedEx doubles. But that's not really doubles because you'll notice that the front one of that is a truck. So it's a straight truck pulling a trailer truck. So it looks like a double, but it's technically not. But he is hauling a double load capacity for the truck that he's driving, I guess, because he's got the extra trailer, so in that sense. He's not doing himself any good by running up on that guy's ass. He should have just gone around me the other way or let me over. He didn't want to do either one of those, so. I'd have got over if he hadn't come roaring back up beside me. Now I'm just going to sit in this lane. I really don't want to deal with the traffic coming up off the exits in the metro area. Man, that was rough. Rough as hell. Okay, come on, FedEx guy. If you get around me, I'll get over there and you can have this lane if you want it. Getting tired of him running up beside me here. He's hanging right in my blind spot on my right side. Why you going around me? Get. I'm trying to slow down a little bit and get him to slide on past me so I don't have to worry about him back there. He's wanting to run a lot faster than I am anyway. I hate this, being jammed in between two semis. Not a fan. Not a fan of that. Okay, 1 hour, 10 minutes. On the big countdown here. This is probably the only video I'm going to have from today. It's just this one segment. Everything earlier just went to crap because of the construction, and I didn't think it would be that much fun just sitting in stop and go traffic and watching the truck in front of me. There's supposed to be a rest area up here somewhere. My GPS is not showing it to me. It's not a lot of help. I should be losing this lane pretty soon, so I'm going to get over here in the center lane again. I don't have anybody right up behind me, so. So it's just coming up on 7 o'clock. I was planning on running until about 7:30, which is going to be about right. That'll leave me about 4 hours out, which is fine. If I can deliver sometime between 10 and noon, depending on how early I feel like getting up. I got to remember I'm on Eastern time here, so if I get up at my 6 o'clock, it's their 7 o'clock. So I already lose an hour before I ever get up. It gets confusing sometimes. think that memorial back there was Deputy Suzanne Hopper, is what that said, Hopper. Kind of set me back a little bit because my maiden name is Harper, and when I started being a cop, my name is Suzanne. I go by Sue, but my name is Suzanne, so that's a little weird. Thinking about the sound of it in my head. Ooh, he's in a hurry. In a hurry. Okay, I'm pretty sure I lose that lane up here, so I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to get into Springfield. Yeah, this is Springfield. I'm going to go on past Springfield and hopefully be on the west side of Columbus, where I can hopefully find a rest area and find a hotel for the night. I've got an hour and 4 minutes left, so it's getting to be time. The last time I came through here, I didn't come out west of Columbus. I turned off at Columbus and picked up Interstate 71 and ran down to Cincinnati. Which the roads down that way were pretty rough once I got into Kentucky. I wasn't digging that. So I'm definitely not going back that way with this load that's returning. I'll go back down the Shenandoah Valley route. I think those roads will be considerably less rough. Hope anyway. Guess I'll find out here in a day or so. Well, I may not have the luxury of finding a rest area at this rate. And I thought I would make it to Columbus before I ran out of time. I don't know now. Looking iffy. Well, I've got an hour left. I don't want to cut it that close. So I guess if I see something that looks like a reasonable hotel on the way, I'll just swing in and see if I can get in there. Problem with that is if I get somewhere where I get jammed up and can't turn around, I'm kind of screwed. So it's better to have a little bit of foreknowledge of where I'm going whenever at all possible. I thought I was losing this third lane. Maybe not. Go over here and see. Okay, finally got dark enough for my trailer lights, for my lights to come on. Trailer lights included. They are still working, so that's good. Always like to see that. If lights come on, you want them all to come on, not just part of them. Xenia and Urbana, Ohio. Let's have to guess at local pronunciations on stuff. You can always tell when you're watching weather channels whether the weather people are local or not when they first start. Like when you get a new weather guy on your local station. And sometimes just listening to the guys like on the Weather Channel, the big ones, trying to say place names that they're obviously not anywhere near or from or have never heard spoken aloud can get kind of entertaining. Okay, less than an hour. My drive time just went red on me. When I hit 59 minutes left, it flashes red to let me know as if I'm not paying attention to begin with. "14 miles to a rest stop." Okay. Well, if worst comes to worst and I can't find a place to stay, I can sleep in that back trailer at a rest stop. It's warm enough tonight I won't freeze to death. I don't want to do that. I'd rather stay in a motel like a human being. I was in Texas at a motel one night. This motel was up over a convenience store. It was the weirdest thing ever. In the back of this convenience store, they had an elevator going up to these, just a handful of motel rooms upstairs. And I was thinking it was probably a cat house or something, but it wasn't. It was actually a pretty decent motel for truckers. It was a big truck stop. And so I was parked out in the parking lot with the big trucks. That's where the guy told me I had to park. He says, "Yeah, you got to park out there, but you can come in this back door and go up the elevator." I'm like, okay. So I do, got a good night's sleep, got my bath and everything. Next morning, I went out to the parking lot, and it was still dark. I got up before sun up, went out to the parking lot, and this other truck had backed in next to mine, and it was a hot shot looking rig, some kind of equipment on the back of the trailer. And there was a guy standing out in front of it smoking a cigarette. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know if I like this, having to walk by this guy in the dark. And then I realized there was another guy rummaging around in the front seat of this truck on the passenger side. So I thought, oh, okay, they're probably together. So I went up to my truck, and the guy apologized for having the door in my way. I'm like, no worries. He was an old guy. He was about my age, I guess. And the guy that had been standing there smoking a cigarette was a much younger guy. And I looked at that truck, and I could tell they had like sunscreen things that you put up in the windows. And a lot of the guys that sleep in the trucks will use those for shade or whatever, or just to keep prying eyes out while they're sleeping. So I asked the old guy, I said, "Are both of you sleeping in this truck?" Which didn't make any sense to me, because if they were running a team, one should be sleeping while the other's driving. But he says, "Yeah." He says, we are. I said, "Well, then you're not getting paid enough money." And he looked at me, and he looked at the other guy, and he says, "Well, that's my boss." I'm like, oops. It's like, okay, I'm gonna leave, get in my truck and leave. But it's true. If you're not making enough money to, have a decent place to sleep, a safe place to sleep, where you can stretch out and really rest and have a bathroom and a shower and all that, they're not paying you enough to haul whatever it is you're hauling. I'm sorry. That's a little different if you're in a big truck like this guy that just went past me with a big sleeper on it. That's a totally different thing. I mean, those guys sleep in those trucks all the time, but it's like a little apartment in there. It's very compact. But most of them have, a little kitchenette. They got microwave and refrigerator, and, some of them have a sink in them. They have different, varying degrees of amenities. They have a nice bed in it. You know, you can make it up, make it nice to where it'll suit you. So it's a little different than trying to sleep in a pickup truck. 2 grown men sleeping in a pickup truck. I mean, that's insane. But I felt sorry for that old guy. He looked like he was just beat to hell. And after you've been in a truck all day, driving for 10 or 11 hours, the last thing you want to do is try and lay down and sleep in that same truck. And if you're a younger guy, you might be able to do it. If it's just one of you, you can make a bed in the back seat. And, you know, some of them do, and they get along fine with it. Some of them do it for years on end. You just get accustomed to it. But for some old guy, and I don't know where they were sleeping in the truck, because the back seat of the truck looked to me like it was all full of, stuff. So I guess they were just sitting in the seats sleeping, sitting up, which, you know, that's not even remotely healthy. It's a terrible way to try and rest, I would think. People do it. People do a lot of stuff, though, out of desperation, or they don't know any different or whatever. I'm not one of them. Not this girl. I want a hotel and a bathroom. Now, I have stayed in trailers that I've hauled, but it's usually, you know, a situation where I have access to a bathroom. Generally not just out on the side of the road. I think one time I've had to stay just on the side of the road in a gravel lot off the side of the road. That was a fluke. Most of the time it's not like that at all. But this might be another time if I don't find a motel here pretty soon. Alright, so I got 52 minutes left. It is about time for me to pull over somewhere and see about finding something. Please tell me that says rest area. No. Highway patrol. Not what I want at all. No thank you. Carry on, y'all. Don't mind me. Just passing by. Oh boy. 5:39, that's almost reasonable. I may find reasonable fuel over on the other side of Columbus. I mean, for Love's to have it that low, it's got to be lower other places for sure. Because they've gotten to where they're the highest ones around. I'm feeling hopeful about finding some cheaper fuel tomorrow. Okay, 4 hours and 17 minutes, 266 miles. I'll be doing good. If I can get within 250 miles of my delivery, that's another 16 miles. Should be, that rest area should be coming up here before too long. Probably just out on the other side of Springfield here, which I should just about be around most of Springfield, looking at the map. Boy, I don't know what we used to do when we just had maps. I still have maps in the truck. I carry paper maps. But I hardly ever use them. Once in a great while I will. If I'm just not getting enough information off my Google Maps on the phone or whatever. But it's kind of starting to get dark. Not too far from sunset now. which makes sense because Eastern time it's 8:14 here, 7:14 my time. I only planned on driving till about 7:30, so I wanted to give myself about a half an hour cushion. I don't like driving right up to the last second of my drive time, even though it's kind of wasting drive time. It is and it isn't. I mean, it's one of those deals. Antique Center. That's not going to help me. I don't see any motels down there. No rest areas either. What I'll do tomorrow, once I drop this off and I don't have these trailers behind me, I'll stop at a convenient place and stock up on a little bit of groceries. I didn't bring a whole bunch with me. A little bit. But I do need a couple things. I don't want to try and get in and out of a store and have to worry about these trailers. I'd rather wait till I drop them and then just be able to stop, park like a normal person. Not have to hike in from way out the edge of the parking lot or whatever. Okay, I got 48 minutes drive time left, and Columbus said there it was like 36 miles. So I've got time to get to the western side. I just need a place to stop and look and pick a target. So I'm hoping this rest area will pop up here pretty soon. I'm not seeing it on the GPS at all. Plus, I could use a pit stop about now. I've been driving for like 5 or 6 hours. Give this guy plenty of room. Trying to read that price up there. $5.23. It's getting a little cheaper over here. Some of these places. Maybe I ought to stop and fill up there. I think I will. Maybe I'll just stop and top it off. $5.19. That's cheaper than I paid a while ago to fill it by about 7 cents a gallon. That'll give me a place to stop and look for a motel at. It's crazy. It's 5:59 over at the Speedway. Speedways are usually better than that, but evidently not today. Figure out how to get in here without getting tangled up. They're clearly set up for trucks up there. I might be able to just go right through there. I don't know if they got diesel in the front or not. Probably not. Guess I'm gonna have to sit in line and wait for diesel in the truck lanes. Everybody and their dog. This must be the best price around. So everybody and their dog is in here. I don't see diesel on the pumps out there. No. Got a guy coming out the indoor or something there. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he doesn't even have a trailer on. He's probably backing in, trying to back in so he can go to sleep. Oh, he does have a trailer on too. He's turning around. No, he's probably backing in. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Not worried about it. What I'm worried about is getting in here and getting fuel. So what I've done is I've stopped my drive time since I'm in here to fuel. I don't know what this guy in front of me is doing, if he's in here to fuel or if he's in here to park or what. I'm just going to sit here and see what he does. Okay, he may be here to park. Nope, he's going for fuel. I'm going to put on my blinker so people know I'm waiting on fuel too. Okay, good. So I might as well just pick a line, any line that I can get in straight, which will be this one here. So now it's just a waiting game. Just hurry up and wait. So this guy's got hoses in both tanks. It's going to be a while. I saw him go by me too. He wasn't that far ahead of me, so it's going to be a few minutes. 175365. Okay, so this leaves me with 39 minutes drive time left, so I need to find me a motel that's close by. Hotels on my route. Well, there's Motel 6 right up the road. I usually don't like Motel 6s, but I'm not going to be real picky right now. If it doesn't have bed bugs, probably go for it. Do this again, see if I can get a actual. Okay, there I am. I know where I'm at. Okay. Holiday Inn Express. Let's try this one. That's going to be expensive. Let's see what we got for parking lots. At least I got plenty of time here to sit here and do it because my drive clock is stopped. I've got 2 hours and 19 left on my work clock for the day, so I'm not in any hurry now. So I know I got motels within a few minutes of me. I just got to pick one. Pick the best one for parking. Holiday Inn Express. They got some decent parking there, but I don't know. I'd have to turn around. So it could be worse. That one's just weird. I don't know what the hell. It's very strange. Oh, I see. Okay. Motel 6. Okay, so I'm there. Motels are there. There's more motels. That's a little farther over. Might as well try one of them. Okay, if I get in there, I'll never get out again. That's not an option. That one's not. Nor is that one. So that's the only option I got, really. It's a Holiday Inn Express. It's got a loop around in the driveway. It's expensive. It's going to be over $100, but it's 13 minutes away. And I got time to get to it, and I can afford it, so that's what I'm going to do then. Okay. Premium diesel number 2. I'm not seeing any. I guess I got to go in and pay because I'm not seeing any card things on here at all. No place to run a card. All right, so I guess that's what I'm up to. Shall return. Okay, so I kind of forgot I had this running while I was in there, and I think it shut itself off. So I did manage to get fueled up. Took a little while, and I also managed to find a motel to aim for, which is going to be the Holiday Inn. It had the best parking lot, and it doesn't have a great parking lot. If there's a bunch of cars there, I may not even get in it, but hopefully I'll be able to get in down here. It's not very far. 7 more miles. I've got 33 minutes left on my clock, so I'm doing good. So that fuel was advertised at $5.23.9 out on the highway on their sign. And I got up there and it was even better than that. They charged me $3.19 or $5.19.9. 5. I don't know why I can't say 5. I want to say 3. Just because it seems so crazy to me that a gallon of diesel is $5 and something instead of 3, because 3 was high. So anyway, they charged me $5.19.9 instead of $5.23.9, so it was an even better deal. So no wonder these trucks are all lined up there. It's probably the best fuel, best price on fuel in this whole region for them to be lined up 3 trucks deep waiting to get in. So I did have to sit and wait, which was fine. Didn't have to wait real long. Got that all done, washed my windshield, as you may or may not be able to tell, I don't know. And I put away my useless GPS and got my phone set up to show me how to get to this Holiday Inn. So hopefully I'll be able to pull in there and park. I do not know. That's my best option. I'll just take it and run with it. If that doesn't work, I don't know what I'll do. There are 2 other motels there, but their parking lots were almost impossible to get into and turn around. So, not almost. I mean, a lot of times a road will go completely around a motel. None of these motels have that option. They had roads that went in and then you have to turn around in the parking lot and come back out, like car-sized parking lots. So the Holiday Inn at least has a kind of a drive that goes over and then comes back out onto the little road. I may be able to do something with that. We'll see. I'll go look. If not, I may have to make a run for Columbus and try another motel. Well, we'll see what we can do. I'm not very far from Columbus, but I just don't know if I've got quite enough time to get there. So I don't want to take any chances on outrunning my clock here. So 5 more miles. That's only going to leave me like 20 minutes to get to someplace else if this doesn't work. So hopefully this will work. We will find out. But I feel really good going into Pennsylvania with a full tank of fuel. So I'm not that far. I mean, I'm like 260 miles from where I deliver. So I'll have plenty of fuel. I'll probably use some of my reserve fuel when I pick up that other stack of trailers. I'll probably fill up right there in the parking lot so that I leave with a full tank. Nice thing about it is I'm not going to have to worry about getting into some of these scrunchy little East Coast gas stations for a while, because that 90 gallons in my tank, in my auxiliary tank, will fill me up close to twice completely. Not quite, but almost completely. And depending on what kind of mileage I get, that might get me 500 or 600 miles, maybe further, out of Pennsylvania. So might get me most of the way to Arkansas, which would be really good, because I think Arkansas is where I'm going to start getting back into the cheaper priced fuel. So I think all the lack of having rest this weekend and working on this instead of laying around and relaxing is going to pay off in our profit on this, because we'll have a pretty nice profit from this trip, not having to pay $6 for fuel. It's a really wonderful thing. So I'm pretty happy about it. Okay, it is 7:56. And it took me about 20 minutes. So I'm running, basically, drive time wise, I'm running fine. I've still got 28 minutes and I'm 2.5 miles from the motel. if I can get into this motel. Remains to be seen. I hate running it this close, but sometimes you just do. I mean, absolute worst case scenario, if I can do nothing else, I can pull off somewhere and sleep in that back trailer if I have to. I don't want to because it stinks. That rubber mat is really stinky. Don't want to do that. Rather sleep like a human being in a bed in a hotel. It's all going to come down to parking. If they have parking, well, and if they have a room. If they have a room and if they have parking, then I'll be all good. If not, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and see if I can find something close enough that I still have time to make it to before my clock runs completely out. Okay, so 1.5 miles to my exit. Looks like the exit, London, that's where I'm headed. Not England, London, Ohio. However, I have been to London, England. I went to England once. That was interesting. A lot of culture shock. I was a lot younger at the time, too. I was pretty young. I was in my 20s. Late 20s, but I was still in my 20s. There's a Holiday Inn over there. See the sign. Hope they got vacancies, and I hope they got an open spot in their parking lot that I'll fit into. We will see. See now the fuel's back up to 5.49 over here. That's why trucks were lined up. Oh God, there's a deer running across. Oh shit, and a guy on a motorcycle. Ooh, that was bad. Oh, this is going to be really bad. I can't look. Cannot look. Nope, ain't looking. It was still moving when I went by, still not killed, not hit. So I thought the guy on the motorcycle was going to hit it, and then we were going to have to stop and do first aid, is what I actually thought. But he saw it and managed not to get tangled up with it, thank God. But I've seen a guy on a motorcycle hit a deer or an elk. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was a deer. It was a big mule deer. It wasn't a little whitetail either, but... Okay, 310 Holiday Trail. Holiday Trail. A sign here would be good. 0.2 of a mile. Okay, there I can see the Holiday Inn sign. There's so many truck stops and stuff in here, it's hard to see anything. Okay, that must be Holiday Trail there. 350 feet, I guess that's it. Holiday Trail, okay. Oh, I don't know. They look pretty full.